I'm Charlie Oakes, Project Manager for Land and Water, and I'm here dredging the Queen's Pool at Blenheim Palace. We're targeted to dredge 300,000 cubic metres of silt and transport it up the hill where we're building a landform. This is going to end up as the natural pasture of Blenheim once it's completed. So we mobilised to site in January where we embarked on the vegetation management works. The reason we did this was to prevent the birds from nesting during nesting season, which would have slowed the project down. We then, once that was completed, moved on to the enabling works. We had a few hold-ups through archaeological investigations whilst we were doing the whole road, and we actually discovered a Saxon mill which is just adjacent to our current site office. This slowed the project down, but once the archaeologists had done their work, we were able to continue. We then proceeded to install the haul road and build the landform, which was in itself a 100,000 cubic metre muck shift. Once that was complete, we were able to start the enabling works on the wharf, which is where we've built 2 bespoke wharfs, which we had pre-designed, and the excavator platforms. The equipment we're using to do the dredge is 30-ton excavators mounted on Ravenstein pontoons. They are installed with GPS dig systems, which enable us to give us accuracy across the whole job. They are then loading our bespoke Blenheim hoppers, which get brought to the wharf where they're unloaded with between a 45 and a 50-ton excavator into modified 25-ton dump trucks, then taken up the hill and tipped in our landform. So one of the challenges that we have here is working at Blenheim Palace, which is a World Heritage Site, is that it's clearly an area of massive historic interest. And so we have developed our design for the bed of the lake based on the Capability Brown original design, but obviously just shy of that to avoid doing any damage to anything that was built originally. The lake was last dredged around 100 years ago, when we believe they took about 100 to 200,000 cubic metres out. Since then, the River Gleim has been constantly silting up the lake. Every time it rains, more silt gets deposited, to the extent that there is only approximately 30 centimetres of water over the whole lake, and it is actually becoming eutrophic. That means when the oxygen is that dilapidated that the lake in a few years' time is effectively going to die. In turn, that would mean that Blenheim will lose their SSSI status on this lake, which is obviously massively significant and very important to them. Every aspect of this job has been bespoke designed, right from the 2 cubic metre buckets that are hanging on the dredgers, through to the dig system, which we've especially procured so all 3 machines are talking to one another, to the tugs, which we've specially raised the cabs on so they can see over the specifically designed Blenheim hoppers, which are large capacity but lightweight so they could be road transportable. They've then been brought into the jetties here behind me, which again have been designed specifically to take a standard excavator, but the hammer from 80 tonnes of silt being bashed into them on a regular basis. The 2 cube grabs are then loading the A25 dump trucks, again, which we've got greedy boards and sealed tailgates on so that they can take the sloppy silt as it goes up the hill.